Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am here with my regular Wednesday morning live. This week, I am going to be unboxing my brand new September paper pumpkin. This is an awesome, it's called Autumn Abundance, and I believe it's autumn themed cards with the cutest little snail on them. So let's open up the box and see what we've got. Let's actually switch so it's just my desktop. There we go. All right, so in our paper pumpkin, you actually get everything you need except for a pair of scissors. And if it's your first paper pumpkin, you'll even get a block stamps on. So we have our ink in here. So it's Cajun Craze. So you always get the ink spot in your kit. I'm going to just grab my bigger ink pad of Cajun Craze, and I use the little ones for other projects and stuff, take them to school and all of that. So then we have our stamp set. It's got the little snail shell and snail body, some leaves and branches, and then some sentiments. It says, thinking of you, sending autumn wishes your way, and with thanks. So beautiful little stamp set there. Let's put that right there so I don't lose it. And then everything else in your kit comes all neatly packaged together. Let's move the box out of the way. So it's always wrapped up in some nice little tissue paper. And then the rest of our kit is all bundled up. So this is the first time you're going to need your scissors. I find opening these, I always need to grab a pair of snips. I do love, though, that they are wrapped together. Everything stays together. Nothing gets bent. And if you live somewhere rainy like I do, nothing gets wet, even if the actual paper pumpkin box gets a little bit wet. All right, so I'm going to take this off. Oh my gosh, I'm already loving the colors. So there's a piece of cardboard to keep everything secure, but behind that cardboard, you will always find the instructions. So here we go. We can see now we're going to make 3 of 3 different designs in this kit. And then you also always get this little stamp artwork paper. What I love about this is when my paper pumpkin's finished, I still have my stamp set, obviously, and this, I can put these two together in like a little Ziploc baggie, and then I always know what stamps should have been with this set and what the name of the kit was. So I really like that. So then when I'm trying to find something later, it's quick and easy to find, or if I use some stuff, it's easy for me to find where it goes back to when I'm cleaning up. So I love that feature. All right, so I do sometimes use the instructions. We have our mini dimensionals in here, so I love that they give us the adhesives that we need. We have a piece of Cajun Craze. Oh my gosh, we have the cutest little square envelopes. These are adorable, and I love that they've got the leaf print on the envelope flap. So I'm going to set those aside for right now. Then we have, 2 different patterns. I love it. So these ones are blue on the inside with the leaf pattern on the flap. And these ones have the oak leaf on the flap and Cajun Craze on the inside. So 3 different envelopes, and they're all gorgeous. Sorry, you guys, I got my first school cold. All right, so here's one of our card bases. So I love that it's got the pop out in the front of it. So I'm just going to put one of those to the side, put the rest of these away for now. Then, oh my goodness, we have a gorgeous card base, and let's see. Oh yeah, you guys can see it on there. It has foil accents on it on the front and back. That is unbelievably beautiful. Wow. Okay. We have some pop outs. So these are just like, you'll just gently pop them out of the page. So we've got a page of pop outs. Well, 3 pages actually. Oh, cool. Again, we have that foil on there. That is gorgeous. And then the big tree trunk base. Wow, 3 gorgeous card bases. I love it. Oh, we have some mini glue dots. We have some tags, and it looks like we have one extra of each tag. I always love it when they do that, just in case you make a mistake. So easy. And here, same thing. We have 4 of these circles, and I'm sure we'll only need 3 of them. So that's awesome. So those are all pop-outs, and another gorgeous layer of leaf pop-outs. Those are incredible. All right, and that gets us to the bottom layer. So I'm going to pop that into the box. All right, and let's get started creating. So I am going to just take a peek and see, because I feel like there's some stamping. There is. So for our first card, it's that cute little square one. And the first thing they want us to do is grab one of those sentiment labels. There we go. And stamp our sentiment on there. And then we're also going to stamp on our Cajun Craze square that they've given us. So I'm going to open up my Cajun Craze ink. I'm going to grab myself a block. I'm going to grab a few just so I don't have to do too much transferring. And we're going to start with the Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. Now, when I'm using a paper pumpkin block with a small sentiment, I always mount it near the top. That way, when I go to ink up, I don't have too much of my block going over my ink pad. And so I can just, now this has never been used. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper. I find that the images are always better if you kind of like prime them. So I kind of ink it up, and then I don't just stamp, I kind of like drag the image across. There's a little bit of a film on these photopolymer ones, and so taking it off just gets you a better image. Much nicer. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'll ink this up, center this, and gorgeous. Love it. So that's our sentiment. Put that to the side for now. And then I need those branches in here. And again, I do try to put these kinds of things up near the top so that when we're inking, we don't have a bunch of our block going into our ink pad. So this, I'll just show you what's going to happen. This image is going to go behind here. It fits pretty well like that. So you can put it behind there before you kind of figure out where you're going to put this. I think it would look great just like that. So then when I open it, that's going to be right about there. All right. So I should probably prime this one as well. Okay, there we go. All right, so I want this going in kind of on an angle, just like that. All right. So that is all of our stamping done for this first card. So the next thing we're going to do is they've said to use mini glue dots in the 4 corners, and they've given us these really nice big mini glue dots. So you can just use your finger to pick those up, or if you've got a take your pick tool, I find that these work really nicely. And you're going to go ahead and put one in each corner. There we go. And then again, you can use your fingernail to take this backing off, or you can just use your take your pick tool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up on the card base, and then I'm going to close the front onto it. So just like that, we've got it put together. Oh, yeah, Annette, I'm glad that that's going to help you. It's not always an issue. These ones were actually pretty fine, so it's not a big deal, but the thicker the image is, the more I find you need to do it. Good morning, Gail. All right, so now that we've got that done, we're going to get some of our pop-out pieces. So on this page, we've got these gorgeous again, foiled kind of leaf wreaths. So we're going to need one of those. And then from our other pop-out page, we are going to get this beautiful Cajun Craze kind of leaf pattern there. And let's see, nothing else from this one. Now there's one other page with pop-outs. There we go. I'm also going to need the wood round, the snail, and a mushroom. So many things going on to this one. Wow. All right. So all of these cutouts that I just grabbed all get mini glue dots onto the back of them, and then we attach them to our card. Oh, sorry, they don't all get mini glue dots. Dimensional, dimensional, dimensional. These three get mini glue dots. All right, so they actually show you in the instructions even where they recommend you put the mini glue dots, which is kind of crazy. There we go. So just start at the ends. And I do find if you follow their instructions as to where to put the adhesives, then you don't end up gluing things where you don't want them. So this one goes halfway up. This one over here. All right, so I've got all those, and then I can grab our mini glue dots, or mini dimensionals, sorry. And so for our snail, they're recommending 3. Just like that. 3 on our mushroom. There. All right, and one down there. Oops. And then 3 on our stump. Okay. All right, so we've got all of our adhesives on the back. Now it's time to start to layer our card together. So the first thing we're going to do is put this wreath on. This is so perfect for this time of year, and it's truly starting to feel like autumn around here. Just a little bit crisper in the mornings and in the evenings. I love it. It's my favorite time of year. All right, then we're going to take our sentiment and layer it across that wreath. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is put down our little tree trunk, tree round. And so just kind of take a look at it, see how you like it. I feel like that's a nice way to do it. It's too bad it covers up so much of that beautiful foil wreath, but that's how they wanted it. All right. So I usually do the cards exactly how they say the first time, and then modify them afterwards. So that's what we're going to do today. Is we're going to make these how they said, and then we'll have some fun. All right. So the paper pumpkins are, if you haven't subscribed before, actually contact me, because for first-time subscribers, there's a bit of a deal going on right now with sale pricing on your first kit. But if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you'll know that they've just gotten better and better and better over the years. And this one's gorgeous, but next month's I cannot wait for. It is going to coordinate with the Winterly Treetops bundle. And so if you've not seen the Winterly Treetops, I don't even have it right here to show you. It is this absolutely gorgeous stamp set with the birds. Here, I'll go grab a card to show you. I've got a bunch of them created. So there we go. It's the Winterly Treetops. It's got birds and beautiful sentiments and lovely dies. And next month's Paper Pumpkin is coordinating with this set. So it's one that you're not going to want to miss. Definitely subscribe, but subscription ends on October 10th. So you've got a little while, but if you do it today and get yourself like a few months Paper Pumpkin subscription, you can get that free shipping that we have. So that's kind of a cool way to do it. All right, so that's our first card. It went together pretty quickly and is absolutely adorable. All right, I'm going to put that to the side and grab the stuff we need for our second card. Now, our second card, if you've watched my Paper Pumpkin videos before, I'm sure you knew the second you saw this card base that I was going to modify it, because it absolutely kills me to think that somebody's going to receive a beautiful card and that this gorgeous piece of paper is being wasted on the backside of a card. So what I always do with these kinds of cards is I trim these down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I end up with 2 bases, and then I just attach them to some cardstock. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So I normally go do it over at my guillotine, but today I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer. And so I'm going to pop this in at 4 inches and trim that down. Oh, sorry, that was pretty much off the screen for you guys. Sorry. And now for this one, I am going to do my 5 1/4. So I know that this is 5 1/2, so I'm going to take the quarter off. And I'm taking it off the top because there's nothing there. It's just like white. So that's how I've trimmed that one down. Now my other piece I still have here, and so I can do that as well. So 4 inches, and then take a quarter off the top. All right, so now I've got 2 pieces ready to go. Aren't these gorgeous, Lila? All right, so now I have to make the decision as to what color card base I'm going to put these on. Because we're stamping in Cajun Craze and the elements that we're adding are Cajun Craze, I am going to put these onto a Cajun Craze base, I think. But I'm also going to bring over a piece of basic beige just to check it out, just to see. Okay, so actually while I was grabbing my Cajun Craze, I saw my crushed curry, and I actually thought maybe crushed curry is going to be the one. So we'll take a look at these. Oh, that makes it a lot richer. That makes it a lot brighter. And that's too faded out. Okay, so no basic beige for this one. So take a look, and while I'm doing some stamping, let me know in the comments, do you think we should pop this onto the crushed curry or onto the Cajun Craze? All right, you guys will do my deciding for me. And while you're making that choice, I am going to grab our label. So we're using one of these lovely dotted, foil dotted or dashed labels, and we're going to stamp our sentiment on there in Cajun Craze ink. So for this one, we're using the Thinking of You. It's the only one that kind of fits nicely in a circle. The curry, it makes it really bright, doesn't it? It really pops. Seems like a very cheery, sunny autumn day. I know it wasn't the first color that came to my mind, but as soon as I saw it in my drawer of cardstock, I'm like, ooh, that might be the one. I'm wondering as well if maybe wild wheat, if you wanted something a little bit more subtle and darker. I believe this is wild wheat in there, but I like that the crushed curry adds that like sunshiny feel to it. All right, so there's our thinking of you stamped. Oh, blueberry bushel. So it crossed my mind to do that because of these gorgeous leaves, and we're going to be adding some of those leaves to the front. But it's kind of funny. I'm not really a blue person. I think I'm drawn to yellow because I love yellow, but I can't wear yellow. It makes me look awful. So anytime I can incorporate yellow in other things, I like to. All right. Let's go with our crushed curry. So I'm going to grab my trimmer here because this was just a scrap. It's not the right size. I'm going to have to pull this arm out and do this properly. Grape. Ooh. All right, so this needs to be 5.5 by 8.5. But we are at the 8.5. Good. And then we're going to score it at 4.25. Now, it's important that you use your scoring blade, not your cutting blade for this. All right. There. Okay. So, yeah, blueberry bushel. Okay, you guys, interesting. Let's take a look. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go with the crushed curry, but you guys are right. Blueberry bushel would also be a really nice pop on this one. So I've got this. We're actually going to, oh, I almost missed stamping on here. Oh my goodness. They want us to use this again and stamp some more Cajun craze in here. So let's see. They've got 1, 2. Just 2, it looks like. So we've got this stamped up here. And this stamped down here. All right. Oh, interesting. Cool. I'm glad I looked at the instructions. All right. So we've got that. Now this is going to get attached just with mini glue dots. So again, you can use your mini glue dots, or if you've got other adhesive like liquid glue or whatever, go ahead and grab it and pop it on here. Okay. I am actually running low on liquid glue, so I am going to use the adhesives they sent. All right. So there we go. I'm going to attach that. And then I need to grab some leaf cutouts. So they're saying let's grab a set of blue and a set of the yellow. There we go. Now with these ones, we're going to put mini dimensionals on the backs of them. And for one of them, they actually show us that we have to cut the mini dimensional. It's too big. Oops. So we can do that one whole. And we can do that one whole. And then for the last one, they said to cut it. Now, if you're ever cutting mini dimensionals, or actually any dimensionals, it's way easier to cut them attached to the form than once you've got them in your hand. So I just cut them straight on there and then peel off just the small bit that I need. Okay, so just like that. Once we get these leaves on, I'm going to go grab a blueberry bushel and see if that's what we need to do instead of the crushed curry. But I'm feeling the crushed curry. It's sunshiny. All right, so then this gets attached. So it's at the bottom and it overlaps the circle, but not the sentiment. And then same with this yellow one. We want it down at the bottom of our page, overlapping the circle, but not the sentiment. There we go. All right. So now this is ready to go onto our card base. I've got that nice yellow one, but let's grab the blueberry bushel and see what that looks like. So many of you guys have said blueberry bushel. Okay, here we go. Let's see what blueberry bushel will look like. Oh, that is nice too. That is a tough choice now. Oh my goodness. I do like the blueberry bushel, but you know what? I am going to go, oh, that is tough. No, I'm going to go with my sunshiny crushed curry. We can make another one later with blueberry bushel. All right, and to attach this, I'm just going to glue it straight down. So if all you've got is your kit, use your mini glue dots. But if you've got other adhesives, I do find for like a full layer like that, it's going to stick a bit more securely if we use some liquid glue. Okay. And then this is a light enough color you don't need to put an insert in. But if you're using the blueberry bushel, you definitely will want an insert. And I feel like it should have a little bit of something stamped in it. So I am going to grab my Cajun Craze and my little sticks here that they've had for us. And I'm going to just stamp those on the inside. Just to give it a little something. Now, if you actually have like a lot of supplies at home, extra stuff, you could also get a blending brush and just give this a little swirl of color. It would be crushed curry. I'm just looking at the colors in this kit. It would be crushed curry, and we just could give it a little blending brush swirl to give it that same look that the front of our card has. So I'm going to grab my crushed curry. And oh, it's super bright. So we want to start off the page. And oh, that's so bright. Too bright. Okay, I need to actually grab. That's too much. I need to really get rid of some onto my paper. Even doing it onto my board isn't going to be enough to lighten that. So you really want very, 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 very little crushed curry. Let's just clean that up before I get that all over my card. So I'm going to keep blending on here to get this super duper light. Okay. All right, I think that's light enough. And now with a very gentle touch, in fact, if you hold it from the tip, then you hardly have any pressure on it. There we go. So it just takes away the stark whiteness of that. Now I did get that one little corner that's quite dark. So because this is an insert, it doesn't have to be a particular size. I'm just going to trim that off so that we don't have that dark spot from where I went in with way too much ink. So when you do trim them though, if you're trimming one side, I do recommend trimming both sides. That way your paper ends up like looking like it's got the same margins. All right, so there we go. And then we've got that to glue on the inside, and it's just a little bit softer than that bright, bright white. All right, there we go. And that is our second card finished, almost like the kit said to do it. All right, so I'm going to put that one off to the side, and we will create the third card in this kit. This one is another super fun one that, of course, I am going to trim the card base because, like, let's be real, all they're using is this. I want to use this. This is too pretty to not use. So let's get in here and trim this before we do anything. All right, so we want this trimmed at 4 inches. And we can do our other one at 4 inches as well. And then 5 1/4. And 5 1/4. Now, 5 1/4 is actually going to take off quite a bit from one side. So for this one, I'm actually going to take 1/8 off of one side and then turn it around and finish up. So that way I'm not taking it all off of one edge. All right, there we go. So now we have our card front just like they have, just maybe slightly different. So we're going to turn it this way. And the first thing they said to do was stamp some of these branches again. So we're really using these branches on every card. Now, the first set of branches, we're going to stamp so that they go all the way over to this edge. And then our second set of branches, see that line there? These ones are going to come in just below it. There we go. So that's that. We'll keep this out, and we have a sentiment to stamp. We're doing with thanks this time. So, oh, you were doing your order. Awesome, Elaine. It's a great day to do an order. I actually can't remember if I've mentioned yet, it's free shipping today. So I did send out an email. If you're part of my newsletter, you would have received an email about that in advance, even, not just this morning. So yeah, today is free shipping. So it's a great time to place an order. Yeah, just awesome. And definitely, like, if you like the paper pumpkins, if you like the Winterly Treetops bundle, placing an order for paper pumpkin. Oh, I gotta prime this. So that you can get next month's kit is a great idea. And doing that month, like multiple months, gets you the free shipping. So, yeah. Okay, let's come in here and do that. So there is our sentiment stamped on our label. And now everything else is just attaching leaves and banners and stuff. So I'll put the ink off to the side, and we'll grab our last last little pieces that we need here. And then I'll also have a good sense of what we have left over from our kit. All right, so we need oh, I see. We need only one of those, but we're going to put adhesive on both sides. That's interesting. Okay, we need one of these. We need all three of these leaves. Here we go. Oops. And that's it. Okay. Now we are going to, I'm not sure I understand the instructions fully. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to deal with that piece later because I'm not sure what it's asking me to do. These three are mini glue dots, so that I can do. I understand that. I'm going to have to see how this card goes together before I do the adhesive on that yellow leaf. Okay, so 2 mini glue dots here. 2 here. 2 here. Okay, that's done. This one gets dimensionals, mini dimensionals that came in our kit. And we're going to put 3 of them on there. Our sentiment, oh, I see what they're doing. So our sentiment is going to get layered on to here, like that. So what we're doing is we're putting dimensionals up above that line, and then mini glue dots down at the bottom so that it will stick. Very smart. Okay. And then, oh, I see why I'm confused. I missed a leaf. We have the fancy copper foil one. It is 2 leaves. It's not 1 leaf with adhesive on both sides. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so they're saying this little guy, we put dimensionals on the back of him, and this little guy gets mini glue dots. That's easy peasy. Okay, so flip them over. Sneak these ones in. There's a few spots that are just like slightly bigger where you can sneak these in. And same with our glue dots. Because these ones aren't so mini. These are actually really big glue dots. I love them. Okay. So with all of our adhesives, now we get to kind of start to build our display here. Actually, I'm going to start with the far right. So we're going to start all the way over here and stick down that leaf. And then this guy. And just slightly overlapping. Then one more. Now this guy kind of like lays down. Then we're going to take our our crushed curry leaf that has the mini glue dots on it and put that down over top of our Cajun craze leaf. And then we're going to take our mini glue dots leaf and put that down like that. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Now we're going to take our sentiment strip and just remove the mini glue dots. And we're going to line that up like that so the two are stuck together. So that's super cute. And then I am going to peel the backings off of our mini glue dots. And this covers up kind of like the little mess we made of stems. So everything's kind of popping out from there. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. All right, now the only thing we have to decide is, because we trimmed this, instead of leaving it as a full card base, we need to decide what color to put it on. So I do have the Cajun Craze. I am wondering about our gorgeous crushed curry again. No, that's a little too bright, and this is more. And then the other color I'm wondering about is pecan pie. So I'm going to go grab a piece of pecan pie, and we'll see what that does. Got that, and then got pecan pie. No, I think we're going to go with a crushed curry base. That's really nice. I like the crushed curry. All right, so I'm just going to quickly trim that and score it. Now, I just cut that in a way I don't normally do the cards that have the fold at the top, but I guess today I am. So there we go. We're going to attach that. And again, I'd use liquid glue for this. It's just going to have a better hold. I have a lot of weight on this card front, and there was a lot of leaves and layers there. So I'm going to do that. Attach that. Here we go. All right, and that's our third card. Nearly exactly the same as they suggested. All right, so here we go. Those are our 3 cards that the kit kind of laid out instructions for us. Now, what I do like in our kits is, oh, do they have it? No. Where did it go? Usually there's some suggestions for alternatives, but today there isn't. But there is a reminder that we have the wonderful add-on for this one that has the leaf in it. So we can use that to do some creating as well. So I'm going to do at least one alternative here, because I'm going to show you, even if I made all 3 of each of the 3 cards, I am going to have a few extra pieces. So, oops, I just dropped one of them. I am going to have an extra circle for the sentiments. I'm going to have each of these sentiment strips as extras, and then I'm going to have the backs of those 2 card bases as extras. And honestly, this one, you guys, I could have trimmed it as well and created a card and kept this as an extra piece of DSP. So I could also have this piece as an extra. So with all of that stuff as extras, I feel like we can make something, right? So let's see what we've got. Now, we've got this piece. It already has the blue on it. It doesn't have anything popped up, and I think that's actually totally fine. This one, we could actually just go ahead, glue this to a card base. Let's glue it to our blueberry bushel just because it's what I happen to have. And then we could use the sentiment and do a popped up sentiment on here, or we could keep this really, really simple, you guys, and simply come in and stamp our sentiment right on the card front. This is like the easiest card you've ever made, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to come in here. I am going to glue this straight to my blueberry bushel. And then you could use Cajun Craze ink because that's what came in the kit. Or if you have blueberry bushel ink, I'm almost tempted to go ahead and grab that and use that for my sentiment. And then, of course, you can use the sentiments that came in your kit, or go ahead and grab another sentiment and do that. I actually really like the idea of sending autumn wishes your way right on there, although maybe down here on one of these labels. Maybe we will use a label, but keeping it really, really simple. Yeah, I think we're actually going to do that. We'll do our sending autumn wishes on our little label, and put it down below. And we're not going to add anything else to this. Just super duper simple. So I'm going to do that. Sending autumn wishes your way. Beautiful. So this, and I'm just going to pop it up on dimensionals right there. And we don't need to do anything else. 1, 2, 3 on there. Peel those off. Okay. And or do we want to put it up high and have it stand out a bit more? I kind of like it down here. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And there's our first alternative. Like, so fast, so simple. All right, so that's what happens when you save those backings, is you get some really quick, beautiful images. All right, I'm going to put that one to the side. Now, if you had gems and stuff, you could also add some stuff in there, make that all fancy. Now I've got this piece, and I feel like this one's actually going to work really well with this circle. And like, I might actually want to grab though, let's see, we put this on a Cajun Craze base. So let's do that again. I'm just going to grab a piece of Cajun Craze here. Sorry. Now, do I want it like that or like that? Oh, choices. Nope, I think I liked it like that. We're gonna do it like that, and then I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to grab one of the bases from one of the other cards, from the square, the one that I didn't chop up before. I am going to chop it up now so that I can get this piece, and we're going to use this for an element on our card. So I'm just going to go trim this up. So it's 4 inches. 4 inches. There we go. So this one, when I trimmed it, I will trim this down to put it onto a card front, but the backing, I kept it at a 4x4 square. So I cut literally right on the fold. Now we've got these little bits. I was going to cut them up into strips, but actually I don't think that's going to work for this card. So we're going to save this for a third alternative card. So instead, I'm going to see, I should have that die set right here beside me. My office is a bit of a disaster though, so hopefully I can find it. Oh, that's the old one. Oh, darn it. I really need to get in here and clean. Since school started, I have been just creating and not cleaning. It's a really habit to get into. All right. So, although I own that die set, I might not be able to use it for this card. Darn it. Oh, wait, what's that? Everyday Celebrations, is that the one? I believe it is. Yes, it is. Excellent. Okay, good. I found it. So this is the add-on that goes with the, what would it be? September, August, July. July, August, and September paper pumpkin kits. This actually coordinates with the 3. And in here, we've got this gorgeous leaf die. And so I'm going to grab this leaf. Now, if you have extra cardstock, you can use your extra cardstock. But if you don't have extra cardstock and you don't mind not having the absolutely gorgeous, super fancy envelopes, you've actually got colors in here that you can use. So you can go ahead and cut a leaf out of your envelope and have that gorgeous Cajun craze and everything. Now, what I'm going to do is actually another thing. If you've just got everybody seems to have white paper lying around, right? So if you've just got a piece of white cardstock, we can use a blending brush and your Cajun craze ink. So, actually, I want a bigger piece than that. I'm going to do 2 leaves. So, I should be able to fit 2 leaves on here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take that base, put it off to the side. I'm going to get my Cajun craze ink and my crushed curry ink that I used on that other card. And I'm going to get some blending brushes. And actually, I don't even need that crushed curry because, crushed curry, because I've already got so much on my brush. And it doesn't need to be strong. All right, oops. Now, I will put a little bit of Cajun craze on my brush, though. And I'm going to come in here. And this doesn't have to be perfect, you guys, because we're going to be die cutting this. So don't worry if you've got splotches or places that didn't blend nicely, because it's really going to be forgiving. So we've got just a bit of yellow and a lot of Cajun craze on here, and we can add more after the fact. So I've got this little piece that I just did a little bit of color onto, and like I said, we'll add more color later if we need to. Now I'm going to grab I'm going to clean my desktop first, actually. Cajun craze ink everywhere. There we go. All right, so I'm going to grab my mini machine here, grab my plates, and put this down in that die that I've got. Actually, I'm going to place this slightly differently. I think I can get 3 leaves out of this. Run that through once. Pull it up. I'm going to run it through 2 more times. I think I can fit 2 more on here. So I love that. Oh, that one's stuck in. So I'm just going to pop that out with our Take Your Pick tool. There we go. And 1 more leaf. And there we go. So I love that with these little die kits, they're just $16.50, I believe, for the add-on kits. And every 3 months, they have a new one that coordinates with 3 paper pumpkins in a row. I love that with those, you can really keep creating elements. Like we could make these blueberry bushel leaves, like whatever we want to do to kind of recreate the look from the paper pumpkin kit. It's awesome. All right. So your Take Your Pick tool is not necessary, but it sure is a really nice additional tool to have. If you're just getting into crafting and you're thinking these paper pumpkins look great because everything's in them, then there's just a few things you might want to add on just to make your experience just easier. So a pair of scissors, a chamois to clean your stamps, and the Take Your Pick tool. I just love those. All right, so we've created those beautiful leaves. If you want them darker, add more color to them, we can come on in. I might actually. And add just a bit more Cajun craze to these. So I'm not even going to add more to my brush. I'm just going to come in and add a bit more to my leaf. Oh, I love it. Okay. And so you don't need to have a lot of ink on your brush to add color. the more times you run over it, the more it'll add, and it's better to go slowly and add than to get too much on in like a big clump, right? All right, so we've got those 3 gorgeous leaves done. Now we have that branch as well. I feel like we could stamp that on here behind our sentiments. I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze ink, that little branch image that we used on all those other cards, and I'm going to cut it here just like that, and I'm also going to pop it down this way. There we go. Awesome. Our sentiment, so thinking of you. There we go. And then we're going to scatter some leaves across here. So let's start gluing things down. So you can use your mini glue dots in your kit, or you can grab your glue and glue it down. So I'm going to glue this down. So this is just onto the other half of that Cajun Craze sheet we used before. All right, now these I'm going to put down with a dimensional. Well, not 1, 3 minis. There we go. All right, just like that. And then my leaves, I'm just going to place them to start with, just to see. And I think maybe we'll do 2 and 1, and just like that. And those I'm going to put on with mini glue dots. So those are cut using the Everyday Celebration dies, which is an add-on kit for this paper pumpkin. And it's still available, and today's a great day to grab it because orders over $100 Canadian get free shipping. And yeah, actually, while I glue these down, I'll let you know as well, I do have a Reindeer Days stamp camp coming up. Currently, the peppermints are out of stock again, but that doesn't mean that you can't join my stamp camp. You can still order the bundle, the DSP, and the twine. And then if you just send me an e-transfer, if it's today that you're ordering, it's actually, I guess it doesn't matter what day you're ordering. It's 14. Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. I'll write it down in the thing, but it's about $14 and some change. And then I can order you the peppermints when they come in stock. Or if you are the first person, you'll actually get yours in your kit because I happen to have an extra pack available. But that would be the first person to make their purchase and sign up for the stamp camp today. Anybody else, you'd get yours after October 21st when they come back into stock. So that is still an option for joining our stamp camp. All right, so there's my next alternative card. Just absolutely adorable, and just the leaf from that die set. Now, I want to do one more, just because I've got this beautiful piece and I still have a sentiment strip. Okay, so we can do lots of different things with this, but what I would like to do is grab, is that the one? Yeah, we're going to grab our, this is pecan pie. We're going to grab a piece of pecan pie. I'm going to cut this down to regular card size. It's 5.5. One quarter. There we go. All right, now, we actually also have these leaves and this cute little snail in our stamp set, and I feel like we couldn't, go making alternative cards without using these guys. They're just too sweet. So I am actually going to grab both of these leaves and put them onto blocks. And we're going to stamp kind of a background with them. Let's see. Blocks, though. All right. I'm going to have to clean up some stamps here. I don't have any more blocks that I can grab. All right, we'll clean up this one because we're done with that. And we'll clean up this one. There we go. All right, so put those away and grab those. All right. So I am doing this on a pecan pie card base. So you could use Versamark, you could use pecan pie, you could even use your Cajun Craze. I'm going to use pecan pie because I like that color on color look. So these are larger images and I haven't used them yet. So I am going to prime them because otherwise they're going to not have the nice solid look that I like. So just give them a good rub. You can even put them like onto your chamois, give them a good little clean. The bigger the image is, the more you need to do this, I find, because it just doesn't, the ink doesn't stick right to them when they're first fresh. Okay, now that we've got that done, I am going to stamp these leaves everywhere, very randomly though. And I'm going to turn my paper as I do it because it's like a real leaf fall, right? Like everything's kind of swirling. Now, I didn't ink that one up right. That's okay because I'll just go ahead and stamp another leaf over top and cover up that little oopsie. So I'm going to start there by stamping that leaf right over top so now you can't even tell. All right. Oops. Okay. Now, these are just so adorable. I love these. All right. One more up here. There we go. So we've got leaves everywhere. Now I am going to take this. Yeah, I am. And I am going to trim it down. And actually, wait a second. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to do that. That. Okay. I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to cut it into 3 3/4 inch strips. I'm going to cut it into 3 3/4 inch strips. And I'm going to try and kind of keep them like in line. Was a 1/4 inch going to be too big? Maybe we'll just do 1/2 inch. No, 3/4. We've got space to kill. So 3/4, I'm going to slide it over, keep it in its spot because I want to actually put these down like in order. 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. All right, so just like that. And then I still have this scrap to use for something else. Nice. All right, so we're going to keep those together. And I'm going to go like that, like that, like that, like that. So we're going to put those down. And let's actually move that over. All right. So we've got those bits all like that. I'm going to stamp my with thanks in my Cajun Craze. Now this background stamping you totally could have done in Cajun Craze as well. It would have worked. All right. My thanks. There we go. And actually I'm going to do just a quick little, because I have a bit of a space there that I don't really like. So I'm going to move these down and I'm going to fill that space with that. So you can see the Cajun Craze and the pecan pie doesn't really stand out as Cajun Craze. Like it really blends nicely with the pecan pie. They're both very rich colors. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could trim these all just a little bit shorter, but I'm actually going to leave them long like this. I'm going to put that over to the side. And then I'm going to take another piece of basic white and I'm going to do some stamping on it. This time I'm actually going to stamp the leaf images in the kit. So I just got a little scrap here and I'm going to clean up these and I'm going to stamp them both in Cajun Craze. So I'm going to stamp both of them, Cajun Craze and Cajun Craze and Cajun Craze. Now, for those of you who don't like to fussy cut, you might want to just go ahead and grab the leaf from the Everyday Celebrations kit, because I'm now going to take these two leaves that I just stamped and I'm going to fussy cut them. Not super fussy though, like it is a Wednesday morning. And I do have my first school cold, so we're not getting crazy here. I'm going to keep this fairly simple. But I just want you to see, like, you've got so much in this kit that you can work with, and so many ways you can work with it. Now, if you had other inks, like let's say you did have a crushed curry, I'll show you one more way that you could have inked up this image. It's actually my favorite way to ink up leaves. All right, so I've got one leaf done. I'm going to grab one more piece, and I'm just going to show you one more way. There we go. All right, so if you did have your crushed curry ink, here's my cleaner. The way I would ink up these leaves is I would actually get my crushed curry, ink up my leaf in crushed curry, and then let's see, there we go. I would grab a sponge dauber and some Cajun Craze ink, and I would go around this leaf, just around the edges with my Cajun Craze, and then stamp it. And you get, well, it's hard to see, you get a really nice blending of the colors. So you've got the yellow and the Cajun Craze in there. So let's give that one more try, because I let that sit a little while and the ink started to move on me. You can also do this with your pecan pie. So there we go. We've got our crushed curry. This is actually pretty dark, so I might actually even stamp it off once and then come in and do that, and then stamp it. And you get just like these gorgeous autumn leaves. I absolutely love them. So that's another way that you can ink up your leaves to use them. I'm going to use my full strength Cajun Craze ones on this card though. So I've got one more here to cut. And here we go. All right. So there we go. So I hope you guys are enjoying this kit. I actually, because it was autumn themed, I knew I was going to love it. So I actually grabbed two of them, just in case there's no refills. Now, usually around the 20th, 21st of the month, if a kit is going to have refills, that's when they become available on the website. And they're slightly less expensive because with the refill, you don't get the stamp set or the ink. You just get the consumable parts. But with this one, I was worried that there wouldn't be refills, and I didn't want to not have lots of it, so I actually grabbed 2. So I'm actually going to do that, and I feel like maybe I need one more leaf on here. That will be good. We'll just do 2. It'll be fine. So when I put this down, I'm actually going to glue down or mini glue dot down the DSP strips that I created from the back of that card. I'm going to put my sentiment up on dimensionals and my leaves up on dimensionals. So I'm going to start with my bottom one because it's going to kind of be like my guide for how everything plays out. So I'm going to glue my bottom one down, and I'm just trying to give it an equal border on the 3 sides. Then that kind of sets the tone for my border. That's the distance between my strips. And I'm trying to keep them kind of lined up so that pattern continues. Now I can put this down with my dimensionals. And I'm putting it down so that the flagging goes to the far right side. Oh wow, there's some kind of construction going on outside. All of a sudden, big machines are making noise out there. Crazy. All right. So I'm going to put that over like that. And then I'll glue this one down. Hopefully that's not too loud on the video. It's very loud here. All right, just like that. And then my leaves are going to go in here. So I'm going to make sure that my dimensionals go in that space by putting my dimensional there instead of on the back of my leaf. And then I will put my leaf down over top. And then maybe we'll do like that. No, I really want to fill that space. I don't like that space there. All right, so we're going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of this guy. Oops. All right. Just like that. And yeah, we're going to fill in that ugly space. All right, and there we have our 3rd alternative for this kit. And yeah, if you wanted to, you could throw in 1 more leaf or add in some gems and stuff like that and really have some fun with this. Now, this one needs an insert as well. So you could use white, and I will do some stamping on here actually. I'm going to do this little leaf pattern again. But this time I'm also going to add in a couple of our leaves. Let's see. I'll let them be kind of falling over here. And like that. All right. So just a few little leaves. I'm actually going to pop in 1 more kind of like leaf tip over here. There we go. I've got a mess to clean up. Yeah, so just kind of decorating the inside before I glue that inside our card. And then if you've used up your envelopes, if you've cut them up to use as well, which is totally a great idea if you don't have all the cardstock colors, because those insides are all colored, then just go ahead and do some stamping on your envelope as well, so that you do have a slightly decorated envelope when you go to mail your cards. All right, so that is our 3rd alternative. So I'm going to bring, actually I'm going to close my ink first, yikes. And then I'm going to bring in all of the cards that we created today with this kit. And yeah, like it's so many. The card kit should make 9, but with a little bit of extra cardstock, you're easily going to get like, what, 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't know, like 16 cards out of this kit. Yeah, so much here. So many different cards. It's just amazing. So thank you so much for joining me today for this paper pumpkin unboxing and alternative cards. I will send out an email tomorrow. It'll have photographs of my alternatives and just a list of like extra supplies you might want, like the crushed curry ink, the blending brushes, that kind of thing. And so that will hit your mailbox tomorrow. You can also rewatch this video in just a few minutes. Once it's ended, you'll be able to watch a replay if you wanted to place an order today with that free shipping. I do have a 40 project PDF tutorial as an extra thank you to anybody who places an order over 65, and of course, free shipping on orders over 100 today. So feel free to reach out. Today's my day off from teaching, so I'm around and available, and would love to connect with you if you need any help with anything. Have a great day, and I will see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I won't be live though. I am going to have a recorded version of my one layout 3 cards for you. I have an appointment to go to in the morning, so I won't be able to make my regular time, but I thought I'll pre-record and post that for you guys next Wednesday. So it'll be my one layout 3 cards, and I'm super excited about it. It's a great layout. So yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.